Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode here on Eat Sleep Reef. I've actually done a few, not too many, but a few setting up and moving videos on moving a reef tank, and today we got another one of those. We're actually moving a buddy's office 130 gallon reef aquarium, and it was very cool. I don't know if you guys remember a few videos back, probably about 15 videos back, I met a local reefer named Bill. Now this guy is pretty much an old-timer, old-school reefer. I mean, he just has a ton of knowledge, but he also does servicing. So he'll service tanks, he'll move tanks, he'll set them up, he'll break them down, whatever needs to be done, he can do it. So I got him in contact with my buddy, and he was actually hired to move this tank. And I remember talking to Bill, and I pretty much told him, hey dude, do you need any help? And he told me no. He's like, actually, I got this alone. And in my head, I'm like, how in the heck is this guy going to move this tank? But you know, whatever. I'm sure he'll be able to get done. So my whole theory behind it, and it's funny, I was telling Bill the way I would have moved this 130 gallon tank was empty out the tank, empty out the sump, remove the tank, remove the sump, move the stand, put the sump back in the stand, put the tank back. Oh, and yes, of course, removing, most of this sand, most of the rock, to obviously make everything as light as possible. And it's funny, he started laughing. And he's like, dude, you don't even have to do all that. And I was like, how the heck is this even going to get done? So it was really cool to record this journey and bring you guys along. I think more importantly, give you guys other options on how to move a big tank like that we're going to be seeing here. So this tank was another another tank I featured in my YouTube channel. Do you guys remember that tank I showed? They had a ridiculous amount of hair algae, and a lot of you were actually commenting, telling me to shut it down. There's no way it's going to get back on track. It's blah 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 XYZ. Well, guys, I'm happy to say we fought and beat the algae issue, the hair algae issue. I'm going to do a future video showing that, because again, on this week I just want to show you guys the whole move. But while we were at it, there was very few spots of algae, and Bill was like, you know what, dude, since we got it out, let's just put some elbow grease, remove as much of it as we can, to obviously give us a better start. So he was there kind of scrubbing. You can see him scrubbing the rocks, getting as much as he can out. At the same time, putting the corals, the fish, inside these containers to obviously store them. Now, all the rocks weren't removed, but a lot of them were. Again, one, to scrub them off, but two, to make the load as least as possible in the tank. And it was really cool to check out this triggerfish. I don't know if you guys, there's a lot of fish, especially triggers, that'll kind of force themselves in a rock, and they're actually known to do this, especially in the wild, to protect themselves. And the trigger part of it, the top part, it's like a little hook, and you can see how they really hold themselves to the rock, allowing you or any predator to really not be able to get them out. I mean, you would have to kill them to get them out. And the only way they release themselves is obviously lowering the trigger. So it was pretty cool to check this out. Tons of bristleworms I was able to see in the system. I actually saw a really big one, but I wasn't able to get it on video. But yeah, pretty much that was it. And again, it was just transferring the fish, the corals, and some rock into there. So you guys are probably saying, how in the heck were you able to move this tank? I wouldn't say complete, but the sump was there, the whole equipment under the sump was there, the stand was there, lights, all the electrical equipment, none of that was moved. Obviously we did empty out the water, and we removed some of the rock, not all the rock, and all the sand was left in there. And you're probably saying, so how in the heck did you guys do this? Well, it was these little plastic moving pads, I guess. They're actually sold in Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart probably has them. And they're essentially just a plastic piece with the foam, and it allows whatever piece of furniture to slide over carpet. I mean, carpet's one of the hardest places to move anything that's heavy, really. I mean, if it's, wooden floor or tile, a lot of cases you can put like a towel under there or something to make it slide. But carpet is one of those things that's very difficult. And it was all thanks to this little moving pad, I'm going to call it, you see here. So when I first saw that, I told Bill, dude, this is not going to move this whole time. And again, he started laughing. He was, you wait and see. But it was ridiculous. So the main thing with getting all this to work is you have to lift the tank. You have to break the not the connection, but break all the how it's indented itself in the carpet. So you got to lift it up. So Bill was in charge of lifting it. Of course, I was in charge of sliding the pads on either corner to get them lifted. And of course, we did this to both sides. Once we got this up, guys, I mean, me by myself, I could have moved this tank. Luckily, it wasn't going very far. It went from one corner to the other corner of the office. But I would have had no problem moving this tank, across a few 100 feet. It was literally that simple. And I was blown away. I, in a million years, would have never guessed this would have actually worked. I would have thought the tank would have been under pressure, maybe cracked. Bill's like, dude, you have nothing to worry about. The weight's, pretty supported on the four corners, so we shouldn't have any issue whatsoever. And we didn't. It was actually really cool to see, because again, in a million years, I would have never thought this would have been possible. So again, it was very straightforward moving it. All we did was kind of push it across, making sure we have the right spacing from the wall, making sure it's centered from right to left, and just all in all, we're happy with the final location of it. Now, another thing I also want to talk about this move, when we broke down the rock scape, as you guys know, once you break down rock, it's very difficult to get it identically like you had it. So this is where, again, Bill comes in. And he's like, oh, I told him, hey, you need me to bring up some videos or pictures of how the rock works? Like, nah, I got it. I'm like, okay. So I kind of just moved out of the way, let him do his thing. And it was funny watching him put the rockscape together. I always make fun of old timers. And, nothing against, even if you guys do this method. But I was making fun of him. I'm like, dude, you rockscape like an old timer. He's like, well, what do you mean? I said, you guys just stack rocks randomly and put them against the back wall, and that's a escape. He's like, not really. He's like, I put a little bit more thought into it. So we kind of just laughed it off, and we were like, yeah, I call myself us newer reefers. I mean, I'm in no way probably, half the knowledge he has, but I was like, us newer reefers will spend 3 weeks on figuring out what we like, redoing the scape, then finally gluing it, then redoing it again, and then finally we end up with the final product. And he kind of just laughed it off. But it was so nice to see him put together this reef tank in front of my eyes. Guys, I'm not lying to you. It took him 5 minutes to scape this tank. 5 minutes. Of course, he has a lot of knowledge, but it was crazy. It was really interesting to see. Because, and again, this may just be my personal opinion, but there's something about old timers and when they do their reef tanks and their rockscape, there's something about natural. Like the scapes really remind me of as if I was diving in the water and I was looking at the scape, through, if I was diving. So it's very cool. Us newer reefers will do these crazy, ridiculous scapes that they're, let's be honest, they're a little bit unnatural. Of course, they do look very nice and so on, but there's just something I really loved about it. Another thing I made fun of them for, old-time reefers, another thing they'll do when they're rockscaping, they won't use any glue whatsoever. They'll just stack all the rocks up. But it was crazy because when I put my hand in there, I thought it was going to be really insecure and wobbly. The thing was rock solid. Like I wouldn't have any issue leaving the scape just the way it was without any glue whatsoever. So it was just a cool thought and something I wanted to share with you guys because it was a funny point where I was making fun of them. But at the end, guys, just look at the rockscape. It turned out really nice, really natural. And I think more than ever here in these few shots, you're able to see how the algae, I wouldn't say 100% gone. There's maybe, 5% hair algae still in there. But compared, I highly urge you guys to I'll have a link in the description, but I highly urge you guys to check out the video I did, 2-3 months ago. This tank was, like, guys, I'm not lying to you. The hair algae was easily 3 to 4 inches long throughout the whole tank. It was horrible. And it was funny because a lot of people were telling me, oh, you're not going to be able to fix this. You should shut it down. People that know me, people that are close to me, you never tell me I can't do anything. Because guess what? I'm going to find a way to do it. Not to prove you guys wrong, but more to push myself and to prove to myself that it could be done. So I kind of took it as like one of those, like, oh, everybody's saying it can't be turned around, blah, 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 this and that. So what did I do? I'm going to share the whole secret of how I did it, because I think it's going to really, really help you guys. And that alone is going to call for its own video, because it wasn't just one thing. It was about 3 things that really helped. And you guys are going to be so surprised what the cause of it was. It was pretty dumb. But again, I'm going to leave that for a whole video on its own. And yeah, guys, I mean, I'm really happy how this tank turned out. The owner was beyond happy. Bill's actually going to be taking over the servicing. I was doing my best to help my friend maintain the tank, but Bill's going to be taking over doing the maintenance, and I think we can expect this tank to just be stellar, like absolutely stellar. I really love, again, going back to, I'm calling Bill an old-time reefer, but just, for video's sake. The way he's going to do this tank, I think his master plan was to do about 15 to 20 fish. A super simple filtration. I mean, I'm really actually excited, guys. I want to bring you along the journey on someone with his level of experience. I think he's been reefing for about in excess of 25 years. He's been servicing. He's had an LFS of his own. So he has a lot of knowledge. And I think it's going to be really cool to bring you guys along the journey to follow him and how he is going to be maintaining this system. I think we're all going to learn a lot, including myself. When I build my bigger system, I want to have all the kinks worked out and really know that when I'm working or building my 300-gallon tank, I can go with a method that's very easy and that's proven. I think this is going to be a great tank for all of us to view and for all of us to learn. I'm going to be for sure bring you guys along the journey and start using this tank as an update for you guys, again, to give you guys information. So guys, that's going to be it for this video. I really enjoyed shooting this video. It was a lot of fun that day. I kid you not. If I told you guys how long it took us to, break down this tank and reset it back up, guys, it took 2 hours. If I were to have done this my way, I guarantee you would have taken 8. I was blown away how Bill did this, and I still am even right now. I still can't believe it took 2 hours to break down, set up, move, everything with this tank. So again, I'm beyond blown away. But guys, I'm going to leave this video here. Let me know what methods you use or have used or would use to move a tank of this size. I'd love to hear if there's other methods you guys are using, because I think we can all learn. When it comes to moving a tank, there's always great information and something we can possibly use if we ever do consider a move. So I'm gonna leave this video here, guys. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much, but I think there were so many great moments, so many great takeaways hanging out with Bill. It was a great learning experience even for myself. So thank you very much, Bill, for allowing me to come over and record. Thank you very much for sharing, not only with me but with everyone watching, your knowledge. We're gonna call you the old, actually, you know what, we should rename you the old-time reefer. But so yeah, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down in the comment box below. If you aren't subscribed, maybe I earned your subscription, hit that subscribe button. Also be sure to hit that notification bell so you get alerted on when new videos come out. Again, I'm going to have the link in the description of the video from when that I did so you guys can see the algae issue it had, that everybody was saying it can't be turned around, break it down, XYZ, restart, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have that in the description for you guys to check out and do your comparison. Let me know, how it looked, how it looks now. And yeah, again, I'm going to be having a full video on that in the future. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. As always, happy reefing.